And welcome back, everybody, to the Podcaster Nation. That's right. I'm not going to do all the rest. You've heard it all before. I know you were listening to our stuff. Here we are, folks. This is another solo episode. It's another addition into our Be a Better Host series. I believe this is number 5. Pretty sure it is. I hope it is because I don't edit. So, folks, I wanted to bring a couple things up to you today, and this is another free resource for you to hopefully help you out a little bit on your podcasting journey. I wanted to share some thoughts today with you guys. I hope that some of you find them to be beneficial. I truly do. Folks, you all know that I'm a podcaster at this point, and you all know that I've been doing this for a very long time. As of right now, I have 6 podcasts that I put out there. I focus on authors, speakers, podcasters, husbands and fathers, and Christians who want to share their testimony. I mean, that's just in 5 podcasts that I'm doing. In the 6th, I co-host with somebody else, and we do talk about some, current issues of the day from a faith standpoint. Now, that's just a little bit about what I'm doing. All right, folks, I have watched so many of you doing what you're doing, and it just makes me want to cry sometimes because you have so much more value than you think you do. Now, I know you've heard this from me before. You've heard it in lives. You've heard it in some of the posts I've made. This is part of being a better host. And I hope that you'll stick with me for just the next 10 minutes. Okay? Because I think it's going to help you exponentially in how you look at your podcast and how you look at yourself as a podcaster and host, how you look at yourself as a guest, and and take it and take it to heart. I have had so many experiences lately that have really just left me shaking my head. And, and I wanted to share this with you, not from other podcasters, okay? Because podcasters get the business. If you are a host of a podcast and you're going to guest on somebody else's show, you get it. You have an idea of what you're dealing with. You know what's important to the host and to the program and what everybody's trying to accomplish. But when you are not a podcaster, okay, when you have folks coming on your shows that are, from any other walk of life, and they come on your show, you need to really ask yourself, does the person coming on my show value my show? And I think what has happened to a lot of us as podcasters is that we have been told over and over and over from people within our own business that we have to give everything away for free, that we can't charge for anything, that if we do, we are bad people. And if we look at making money from our podcast in any way, shape, or form, then we aren't doing what we should, my favorite word in the world, should be doing. And what has happened is that guests are now looking at podcasts as a free resource that they can use at their own whim. And I want to give you some proof of this. Look at your podcast, especially if you take guests. Look at your podcast in the last 60 to 90 days. How many people have no-showed? How many people have rescheduled at the very, very, very last minute with absolutely no concept for the fact that you set aside that 60 to 90 minutes for them and that you now lost that time and you can't give it to anybody else? Am I starting to hit home? Are we getting a little closer? We've all had this happen. How many of you have had, and this is one of my favorites, I've been getting this a lot, where people will call and they'll say, "Oh, hey, can we just move the time like 30 minutes back or 45 minutes forward or because, I'm running late or I got to move it. I got something else." I mean, you guys, any of you know who know me and what I do, I'm booked all day. I'm either doing podcast interviews or I'm doing coaching sessions. So I can't just move your appointment 45 minutes because you didn't bother to prioritize me in my interview and my podcast. We got to reschedule the whole thing. But the concept is that me as a podcaster, I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here and I have nothing else to do with my day. And it's just a hobby. So we'll get to it when I feel like getting to it. And yet the people who are out there trying to sell their wares are really dying to get on all of our podcasts, aren't they? Folks, because it's a free resource to so many, and frankly now too many people, it doesn't have any value. And we've gone the route of trying to get people just to share the episode. How many people come on your program? They hound you to get on the program. They can't wait to get on there. They schedule, and they come on and they want to talk all about their product and they're worried about what's in the show notes and let me give you 5,000 links and everything else. And then they don't share it on their social media. And you're like, I thought you wanted to get the word out. I had an incident here that I want to share with you guys that kind of caused this whole episode. I had I had somebody wanting to come on one of my podcasts, and through the whole thing, we were going back and forth, and I could just sense there was a little attitude coming from this person because I was like, we were working through a service called Podmatch. Okay, I'm a member of that, and I use that often. And if you guys haven't heard of it, DM me. I'll send you a link, and you can jump right in there. It's like $6 to be a host and sign up for that service. It costs a little more if you're going to be a guest, but anyway. So I'm going through this on Podmatch, and this guy's like, okay, well, when can we do the interview? And I'm like, well, as soon as you take care of this, and push this button, and then go to my schedule. And he gets very indignant, and he's like, wait a minute, just send me a link. I said, sir, that's not how we do things here. Everything is, in this container. This is the process. Looking forward to having you on the show, but this is how it needs to go. Well, I'm not interested in doing that. Okay. I'm in a hurry. I'm a busy man. This is typed. Someone actually typed the words. I'm a busy man. And I'm sorry. But wow. What are you from like 1965? Give me a break with this. And I said, well, then, sir, I guess you don't need to be on the podcast. And I canceled the match, canceled the interview. He then proceeded to email me 10 or 11 times, expressing his feelings about how unprofessional I was. To which I emailed back and said, let me tell you about being professional. So I'll spare you all the details. But when you reread it and you go through this whole episode, it was another instance of someone out there trying to sell their product. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to categorize an entire group of people here. But someone trying to sell their product who viewed us as a free resource that they could use as they wished and spit on us if they wanted to. They really looked at us like we were simply there to provide a service for them. And while there was some value proposition involved because they did want to get on the podcast, there was an expectation. There was uh, an entitlement, and I've seen it a lot with folks. And I've seen these people very full of themselves, treating me like I'm a second class citizen or something. They're treating me like I literally am there to serve them. And I'm like, look, this is a two-way street. I'm building a podcast and I'm willing to bring you on if it's good content for my listeners. And, I'm willing to do my part to put the information out there. And I need you to do your part too. Throughout the course of this conversation, this same gentleman also explained to me that it was really, really unprofessional of me to ask him to share the episode because that's my job. And it was very inappropriate for me to be asking him to do my job in putting the podcast out there. Now, folks, this is an extreme circumstance, and this guy was a serious jerk. And if any of you want to know who he is, just send me a DM, and I'll send you the message. I'm not going to out him on, a podcast that goes to thousands of people, but if you send me a DM, I'll tell you. If you're a podcaster, I'll tell you because you don't want this guy on your show. But the fact of the matter is that it brought up a really, really big, a much bigger point and an issue for us as podcasters, and that is our perception, our perceived value. You know, all the time we're being told by the folks at the top of our industry to give things away. I mean, even Podfest, which, I would love to go to and I think is a fantastic thing. Their advertising is, there's no gatekeepers in the pod fam and we share information in the pod fam, right? It's all designed to shame anybody who's trying to make money in our business. And yet it costs, $1,500 for two people to get tickets to go to Podmatch or Podfest. So nothing's free at Podfest. You got to buy a ticket to get in. So my issue right now is that the whole world is telling us that we're bad if we make money. They're telling us that we're evil if we charge for anything. And I'm trying to tell you folks that you have a ton of value. Your time means something. Your talent means something. What you have learned and grown into and what you're achieving with all your time behind the mic means something. So if you want to charge for part of your service, do it and let free enterprise decide whether or not it's a good idea. Let the world of capitalism decide if it's a good idea. Folks, something is worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. And that's it. I've had people ask me, is it okay to charge a jump to the head of the line fee? Yeah, as long as you're upfront about it. Is it okay to charge a sitting fee? Yeah, as long as you're upfront about it. Is it okay to charge for? Is it okay to charge for? Is it okay to sell? Yes, yes, and yes, as long as you're upfront about it. Be very upfront about it. Be bold. Be willing to have people say, okay, well, then I don't want to do that. Folks, I'm going to tell you, one of my podcasts, I do charge a sitting fee. There's two reasons for it. Number one is I use that sitting fee. I keep it off to the side and I use it for, to be able to do some free coaching for veterans and fathers and husbands. Yeah, I do. And no one has to pay the sitting fee to get on that podcast. They just aren't going to get on the podcast. I have 6 months of content. I don't need people who don't think that I have value. You know, folks, when you're there, if you come out once a week and you have 4 months of content already, already put away, you don't have to take every single person who says, oh, I want to come on your podcast. You just don't. It's your show. When people come on and you're hoping that they share your podcast, one thing that I tell people all the time, I've counseled this before, I'm going to counsel it again. If you're counting on, if you don't want to charge for anything and you simply want to grow your podcast by bringing guests on, which is great, it's the number one reason to bring guests on. Well, that's wonderful. But before you bring a guest on, go look at their social media feeds. Are they sharing any other podcasts they've ever been on? Well, Rory, how do I know what podcast they've been on? Go to Spotify, go to search, and just type in their name. You're going to see all sorts of things come up where they're on episodes of other podcasts. Okay, so I can go type in Rory Paquette, and it's going to show that I was, just recently on Gods and Gigs. Okay, an awesome podcast, and the episode that I'm on is going to come up in that search because my name is in the title of the episode, and you're searching my name on Spotify. Then you can go to any of my social medias, okay, my Facebook, or my Instagram, anything else, and you can just look. There's a date on the episode on Spotify. Go back and look at the date on my social media. What did I put out in the few days after that episode hit? Did I share it? If I did, you're good. I'm probably going to share yours. If I didn't, probably a good indication that I'm not going to share yours. Now, why do you want to do this research? Well, it's just a lot of work to put in. You know what I mean? A lot of time. Because, folks, if you're bringing somebody on and you're not charging any money and you're not doing anything to get paid and you are not going to get any sharing from the guest and you're not going to get any growth from the podcast, why are you doing that episode? Why are you taking that person when you could take any other person out there who might share it at the very least? Because we're scared to death to not have content. Because we don't think we have value. Because we sit here and we go, oh, because I have to. I can't say no to somebody. Yeah, you can. Well, they came on and we did the interview and it was really awful and they were very rude to me, but I still need to put it out. No, you don't. Folks, the one thing you're always going to get from me, always, is that there are no rules here. And when people try to put rules on us, I get mad. I get angry. Who are they? How are they more important than you? As a podcaster, you are trying like heck to be better tomorrow than you are today. Every episode, when we go back and we listen to it, we critique ourselves and we try to get better at our craft. Every time we bring somebody on, we want to do our absolute best to present them and their product or their course or their book or whatever it is that they're selling in the best light possible. We want to help them. And what are we getting in return? At the very least, what we should be getting in return is a little bit of respect for all of the work that we put in. And most of us are putting all that work in for free. Now, folks, I know, I know what it sounds like when people start saying you should charge for your services. No one wants to buy my. If I start charging for my services, nobody's going to want to come on my show. How do you know? When I implemented a sitting fee on one of my shows, I didn't know how it was going to go. But I believed in myself and I believed in my show and I believed in my value enough to say, look, it's not a lot of money. But if you're not willing to spend a couple of bucks, then you're telling me my time isn't worth a couple bucks. You want a piece of marketing from me. You want, me to share it. You want me to present you in a good light. You want me to present you as an expert. You want me to come on and do my absolute best that I can do at my job in this whole thing. And you value that at exactly $0. Folks, where else in the world are all these people getting free marketing and free advertising? Where are they getting someone to tell the whole world and access to their network to say this is an expert in their field? Where else are they getting all of that? Nowhere. And I'm sorry, but it is time for podcasters to stand up. It is time for us to say to the world, we have value. And I'm telling you, when you hear from the top dogs in our business, and they're telling you, no, do this for free. No, there's no gatekeepers. No, everything's, we share info. Do they have a website? Is it free? Are they giving out coaching? Is it free? Do they have a platform? Is it free? Pay attention to who you're listening to. Listen to what you're being told and why. I want podcasters to rise up. I want podcasters to care about themselves. I see podcasters as one of the most valuable commodities out there. And I don't mind being one of the first people through the wall. I really don't. You know, the first guy through the wall always gets bloody. I'm fine with that. I always have been. I have no problem being one of the trendsetters, one of the people who goes out and says, you know what, this podcast that I have right here, this is worth 25 bucks for a sitting fee. So I can take that money and do this with it over here to help another group of people. And frankly, I don't even have to go that far. I can simply say, that's what it's worth. And if you don't want to be on it, don't be on it. Folks, I'm sorry, but while we're sitting here having coffee together, I'm just sharing my thoughts and my opinions with you because I think it matters. And because I care about every one of you. That's that. Okay, I'm tired of seeing all of these people that I respect, that I care about, and that I look up to. I think very highly of every one of you folks. If you have a podcast and you're out there and you're killing it and you're putting all that work in and you're trying to get better, my God, you have my respect right now. I don't even need to know who you are. You are starting from a position of respect with me because of what you're doing. Don't you deserve that for what you're doing? Somewhere along the way, we got sold a lie. We got told that we don't have value. We should give it all away for free. And maybe somehow, some way in the future, something might come to us. That's a great racket. A great racket for the folks who are charging tickets. You have value. And it's about time you believed it. I would love to have this conversation with you one on one. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your podcast is about. Give me a holler. Send me a DM. Comment on a post. Contact me. Do something. If you're hearing this and you're a podcaster and you're not a part of the Podcaster Nation on Facebook, become a part of it. It's free to join that group. Get in there. I've let that group run a little bit dormant here lately because we were considering changing to a different group and moving some things around. We're not. Decisions have been made. We're back. So, working on building this group up and making it beneficial for everybody. I hope that you hear everything I have to say, folks, because at the bottom of all of it is that you have value. And I've said it probably 50 times, and I'm going to say it 50 more. You don't need to give everything away for free. You don't need to give your time away and be treated like garbage from other people who simply want your service for free. Tell them no thanks. And remember that you're in charge of your podcast. There are no rules except the ones you make. And if somebody doesn't like it, they can find another show. Take that with you. Thump your chest with that and believe in yourself because you're worth it. Folks, this is a place where the rising tide is supposed to be raising all ships. So let's go. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's establish our value to the world. And let's keep sailing.